sequence of Kota Factory takes us on a visit to the most wonderfully used meme on social media. Padhai kar lo shouts the rickshaw owner to an unwitting student roaming about in daylight, and he can be seen ferrying the dejected Vaibhav Pandey along with his father to a modicum of mediocre by-lanes of Kota coaching hub. The dreams have just been shattered after Maheshwari refused to allow Vaibhav a seat into their prestigious coaching center. With all hopes withdrawn, the character of Vaibhav Pandey must mount an aversive journey to another coaching center that pales in comparison to the likes of Maheshwari. And that's like failing IIT and ending up at another university that specializes in technological degrees but doesn't command respect that comes with a degree from IIT. Kota Factory quite persuasively captures the lives of the IIT aspirants who find themselves in the middle of chaos that envelops them in a pressure-packed situation only to be redeemed through a selection into the reputable IITs. For those who can't make the cut, they must return home with failure written on their faces, or at least society would ensure the stigma stick to their subconscious like a bubblegum tangling up in the strands of hair. The only way to rid it is to cut it off. Well, that came out way more disturbing than I can actually remember. Someone had recommended the series earlier this year to me, forcing me to discover a tantalizing secret about myself that I find it difficult to remember all the suggestions. It was perhaps then that the idea of writing down all the recommendations on a piece of paper provided a welcome solution to me. Anyway, I finally watched Kota Factory after a humongous delay of almost 2 years, and I'm glad that I finally finished watching it. The rating on IMDb firmly established it as one of the best web series to have come out from the camp of the TVF, and generally as well. Simply put, it couldn't have been made any better than it already was. I sat through 200 some minutes worth of fascinating entertainment, and I definitely didn't suffer from inadequate experience at any point. It was a symphony of different characters traversing through different storylines episode after episode. To add to the intriguingly captivating atmosphere is the usage of the color scheme to depict the narrative. It was shot in color like all normal shootings take place, but it was graded to black and white during the production stage to give it a feeling of lore, perhaps a timeless legend that finds its roots beneath the Indian education system, or pedagogy, a term used in the series. The story remains true to the title throughout, never losing its theme or idea of adhering to the well-recruited track of catering to the aspirations for a certain test. In that, if I pit it against another show with similar theme, let's say Aspirants, then I would unmistakably regard Kota Factory as a standard for a well-written web series. While Aspirants is plagued with an unneeded fetish for commercial theatrics, Kota Factory has no such airy feelings about it. And there are moments when it gets preachy, but those have been carefully arranged at each juncture to augment the experience rather than fetching a fanciful sequence from a pot boiler. It is in no way to say that Aspirants lacked creativity, but Kota Factory hatches a curry of innovation warmed enough to the taste of true audience. The characters of Vaibhav Pandey, Meena, Jeetu Bhaiya, Uday and Shivangi know their place in the script very well. Whether in coming together or staying in the individual spaces, they articulate their own version of the story without even explicitly talking about it. No character has been given unnecessary backstory to affect the velocity of the narrative. The script takes its own time to dwell into the past of an intriguing character it chooses arbitrarily, but in doing so, none of it feels force-fed. The audience is in fact treated to a slow-brewed concoction of different characters that it is difficult to imagine the structured spread of the narrative without the presence of anyone. Even some of the faculty members provide tidbits of fun with relative ease. Jeetu Bhaiya among the faculty cast takes a bigger slice of affection from the audience. He is completely sorted with respect to the ways of life. He not only affirms his place in the heart of the students with his brilliant command over physics as a subject, but also works quite effectively in handling their personal issues. In that, he was a self-assigned agony aunt for the masses. Now that Netflix has taken over the reins from the TVF for season 2, I'm ecstatic to the core and look forward to what happens next. It's very difficult to visualize how the experience each one of us went through watching this series would be or could be topped by the makers. A lot of examples come to my mind where the first season met with unprecedented success, but the follow up got plunged into the grinding gambit of hype. I sincerely hope it doesn't happen with this one. I would rate this series 5 on 5, and it comes with my personal seal of a must watch. No experience is complete if you haven't watched it yet. Thank you very much.